Hiya, it's what's today, Friday here, and I'm back to share another little project. Before I start though, I just want to say thank you for coming and visiting my channel. My regular subscribers, you're very good, you leave me comments which I appreciate. If you don't subscribe but you pop in occasionally, that's fine, that's okay. I do though just want to ask if you could hit the like button. That would be really good, because I don't know whether you're aware, with YouTube their algorithms work on all sorts of different things, but the like button is quite important. Subscribers are important too, but you know, I understand there are lots of channels to watch, but the like button really helps. It helps push my videos up the list, if you like. Anyway, that's enough about that. I am glad you're here and I hope you'll enjoy what I'm working on today. And what you can see here are some new dies. I ordered these from Amazon in Australia, and they arrived, and there are 30 of these dies. This is just a small selection, and some of them look very similar to the Sizzix dies, but they are smaller. They're slightly smaller, and I've got to say, I got 30 dies here for approximately the same price. So, you know, they're very good value. I'll list the name below for those that are interested. Anyway, they arrived. This was one little group, and they were sort of joined together. I've taken most of those bits off, you can see here, in a strip. They were just in a plastic cover, and that was it. No pictures, nothing. They came like this. So I thought, that's going to be hopeless for me. I'm going to lose them. So I thought, okay, well, I'm busy organising my storage and so forth. Let's come up with an idea for storage. And I made a start with one idea. I'll show you that quickly before we get on to it. This is slightly different because I thought I'd keep all my flower dies together. And these were the two Sizzix dies that I have. You know, one of them is in a nice little plastic sleeve, which is fine, and they stay in a box in my cupboard. The other one is in the same type of plastic store type container, and not so good. So I thought, okay, well, I'll put them on in a pocket. And look, I know you can buy these plastic wallets. You can buy all sorts of things to store, but I have so much stuff. I can't tell you how many dies I own. I keep a lot of the original spellbinders, you know, the circle dies, oval dies, square dies, in an aluminium case. It's a CD case actually, but it worked well for those. Then of course spellbinders came out with the longer dies, more like, you know, the A4 length, and then bigger again. Well, I've got quite a few of those, and they stay in like a plastic shoe storage box that I bought from the $2 shop, and I just use the surround piece and stand them like this. They're fine. That works fine for me. But these small flower dies, I thought, right, okay. So I did this first, and this was using a cereal box and adding card, double-sided card on one side, leaving the other side plain, and adding a pocket. Now for these dies I added 2 pockets because I wanted a pocket to slot this into and a pocket to store any punched out flowers. And you can see I've used my binder. The thought was to bind them all together with the Zutter binder. Well, by the time I'd got about 6 of these, that was quite chunky, and I thought, oh, I don't know. That's, you know, it could be a bit better than that. So today I thought, right, back to the drawing board, think about what I've got, what I can use. I will keep these 2 and I will add these 2. I'm still going to use a ring binder. And I mean, you know, if you wanted to do this and you didn't have one of those binding machines, you could just punch holes and use rings. I mean, that was another option. I've got a few of those. I did some in the early days. That's how I stored things. So I'll keep those aside. They will get used. But this is my prototype. This is what I'm thinking now. And this is the same double-sided cardstock, but I've laminated it. And I've added the magnetized sheet to one side to store my dies, and they store quite well on those. And to the other side I've added just an envelope. I've glued an envelope on 3 sides to keep the punched out pieces. I checked it through the binding machine and it works perfectly fine. And what I found, I've measured them in such a way that I can get 2 pages from 1 A4 sheet of laminating paper. And all I've done is allowed a little bit of room in the middle so that A, it seals, and B, I can trim it down without affecting the seal. Just double checking that that seal is, you know, you can push these back through the laminator a couple of times to make it work, but it did sealed fine. So it definitely works. And when you put them together, you know, bear in mind I'll probably have, I think I'm making about 6 pages. It's an awful lot easier than the cereal box ones and less bulk. I mean, that's 2 of the cereal box ones and that's 2 laminated. Okay, only one's got the magnetized sheet on, but you can see it's much better. I am going to add this, as I say. This will sit at the back probably of my completed project so that I can keep all my floral dies together. All right, so I've used this double-sided cardstock that I've had for a long, long time. It's a DCWV brand, and it's quite nice quality paper, I have to say. So I've used that, and I've used envelopes. Now, sadly, I didn't have quite enough of the white envelopes this size, and they were just the perfect size to fit on the back here, and I wanted them to fit over the card more than edge to edge. So I've had to add a couple of odd ones, and they are patterned, but that's fine. And I've just altered them on one side to make them the right size. So I have those. The magnetized sheets, I've had these for a long time in my cupboard. I had a couple of packs. And I think what I'll do is I'll split that down the middle this way, and that will fit on the page. Right, so those are the magnetised sheets. These are my laminating sheets. I just buy them at our local office works. And just move that out of the way. And this is what I mean about placing them in the laminating sheet. I worked it out that my paper, if I cut it at 8 inches tall and 5 3/4 inches wide, I can easily get 2 sheets in one laminating pouch. And I basically just push them right down to the edge there and try and, you know me and straight, I'm not very good, but try and equal them out so you've got equal distance, top and bottom for sealing. And then this one, as I say, I like to leave a little bit of space here. Try and level them up again. And that's about right. There's just under 1/4 of an inch this side, but that should be fine. That will seal nicely. So that will give me 2 pages. Now at the side of me, I've got my laminating machine, and I'm just making sure it's on. Yes, it is. And I've also got, I use one of these, a Zutter binding machine. I bought it off the internet, second-hand really. It was somebody destashing, but I don't think it had ever been used. And I also make myself a template. I know I'm going to be punching these at the side, and I don't want to attach them all the way down. The Zutter gives you 6 holes in one punch. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of paper to 8 inches, which matches the laminating pouch edge to edge. Okay, so that's across rather than long. They're 8 inches wide. So I've cut a piece of paper 8 inches wide, and I've marked at 4 1/4, which is the center point. And I use that in the machine. You can see I've put it in once and punched it. And I think that line was probably more central originally, looking at how it's punched, but that's fine. I work off that full line here. And I use that when I'm punching. But before we can do any of that, I'm going to just double check that I've got that right, and then we will laminate it. Yep. Okay, so when you put it through the laminator, it's the sealed end first. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in now. My laminator is warm. Just prep this other one. Whoops. Press that right in there, Mrs. Okay, so there's the first sheet done. And by leaving that gap, it seals along here. Okay, and there's the second one done. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm just going to move my laminator away because it's warm, and it's warm enough in here at the moment. Okay, so then to trim, I use a craft knife, and you just want to make sure that you allow a little gap between each sheet, and then simply trim them apart. So there's 2. And that cut edge is the edge I use for the binding edge. And that gives me a nice rounded corner this side. Okay, so I'll pop those there and we'll do the second one. Sorry, there's probably a bit of glare on this. Let's shut the blind over a bit. Ooh. See if that helps. Might be a bit better. Okay, trim. Just check that that is sealed, and if you're not 100% sure, you can always put it through the laminator again. And I actually did on the first one I did, so I might do that, pop that through again, and I'll be back. Okay, so they've been through the laminator again, and now I'm very happy that they are properly laminated. Okay, now what I want to make sure is that I have them, that's it, that's what I want, with all the rounded corners to one side, because this is how I want them in the book. I want these at the edge. This is the edge that we will bind. Okay, so next thing is to trim down our magnets. I've done one, and I'm literally just cutting them in half lengthwise. So 2.5, 1, 2, 3, I think that's about it. Okay, and cut on the paper side, not on the magnet side. It's easier. Take it from me, I tried the other way first. You can learn from my mistake. Okay, that's 4. And I've got 5 pages, so we need one more. I think I did, I actually worked it out to split the dies up evenly was the best way, so they're not overcrowded on the magnet basically. There we go, and that should be enough. Close that out of the way. So this one I've already put the envelope on the back, so it just needs the magnet strip. And the sun's shining, I can't see very well. Why can't I see? Oh, that's right, because this is a 6.5 inch wide ruler. Okay, that's better. Look at that. Okay, so that then sits this way. It gives that bit more space down the spine edge. Okay. Now on the last one I added a little bit of art glitter glue around the edge of the magnet, just for a little, you know, really says I don't panic. It's a bit of extra sticky. Right, so we butt it up, go to the top of the card. More glue down here. It feels pretty sticky, but you know, we'll go for broke. Okay, so there we go. That is on there. Let's put some. See, there it did quite well. That's basically how it works. And then what I'll do, I'll take these off and show you before I do the others. I'll bring in the binding machine, and this is a bit noisy, so it makes a bit of a clang, and it'll probably jog the camera, but we'll do it anyway. Right, where's my template? Here it is. On my machine, they mark the centre spot here. So that's what you line up. All right, the rounded edge is up high. We don't want that in the machine. We need the straight cut edge. Okay, line up the template with the edge of the laminate. Like so. I mean, look, it doesn't matter if it's slightly out. And then, as I say, line up that centre line. Take it down. There you go. I tried not to clang. There it is. That's another one bound. See, and they marry up. Once I've got these finished, I might just use my corner rounder on these back edges too, but I just wanted to leave them for now. Here's our dies again. And what I'll do, you see it's pretty straightforward. With the one I made first off, I actually sewed around the cardstock and the card, the cereal box card, and I actually sewed over the base of the magnet sheet too. And my sewing machine accepted that, was not too horrified. But with this method, you don't have to do any of that. It's all just glue. Okay, so we'll put that to one side. I think I'm missing a die, aren't I? 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4. No, I've got one too many on there. That's it. They're ready. I've decided it's 6 on each sheet for the time being. Okay, we'll pop that aside, and what I'll do is I will continue. I might speed this up, but I will carry on adding envelopes and magnetic strips, and then come back to you when we're ready to bind it. Okay, so I completed these. They've all now got their magnetic strips and they're envelopes. And what I've done is I've used my small corner rounder to round these inner corners so there are no sharp edges. So they're ready to be bound. And this is going to be my cover. And because I'm putting those two smaller pockets on the back, I'm not going to use a back pocket, I don't think, at this point. I think this will be fine. So what I've done is I have measured a piece of cardstock, and this one measures 8 inches tall, the same as this, but I've actually measured it at 6 inches, an extra 1/4 of an inch across the front, just so that it covers the edges. And I've placed that piece of card into my laminating sheet with the spine end is towards the middle of the laminating sheet. It's here because I want this rounded corner to match these rounded corners here. I've put it in that way. All right, so this will be the spine edge here. And you can see I've written a label for the front. Yeah, my laminating machine is just warming up. We'll pop that in and then we're ready to bind it. I've pulled out a couple of other floral dies here. I'm going to see if I can fit those on one page too. So, just waiting for the laminator and we'll carry on. Oh, the sun is warm on my desk. Close those over. Okay, bring in this one again. Okay, so that's done. It's nice. Okay, so we'll trim this down. I'm going to trim it and put it through the laminator again, just to make sure it's well and truly sealed. There we go, we'll pop that in again. Here we go, here's our front sheet. So this needs to be punched. So again, it is punched on this edge. So let's line this up. And here's our binder. That in up to the center and punch. There we go. And that's the template, and you can see it's punched in the same spot each time. So that's a brilliant idea. It's pretty worth doing. Okay, so then, whoops, we line these all up, like so. And I'll just have a look at these, just see how big these are. I might even get away with a 3/4 inch. Just bear with me a moment. Okay, so we've got the binding ring in place. And they are very specific about where you put your back cover with this. So we'll see how we go. Pop it in there, hold it upright. Bring this down. Okay, so I went ahead and bound it because it is a bit fiddly. And I've just realised I didn't corner punch the front page, so we'll do that. Yeah, it is a bit fiddly. You have to remember to put the back page, flip it over to the front, and yeah. Anyway, got there. So that's our front page. And all our dies, and I've popped one of each in here. So, I mean, I don't think I'll carry many in there, but it's handy to know. It's handy to be able to pull them out and see just what the size is like. It's catching somewhere. Do you have a look at that? Yeah, I mean, I've just punched them from scrap card, but they sit in there quite well. And these were 3 other flower dies that I had that were, I think one's a dynamics die and the others are, oh, what is it called? Memory box, couldn't think there. This is my favourite, I love this die, the poppy. Okay, and I've just put their packs in the back there so I can remember whose dies they are. I've put the scissors at the back. Was that a good idea? Not sure. They sort of drag down a bit, but that's fine. As long as it doesn't break the spine, the rings, that's okay. They will stand on my desk at the back. I wedge them between 2 other little boxes. So yeah, that was today's little project. Hope you liked it. As I say, there are all sorts of ways of storing your dies. I've got a couple of different ones, but these, I think, because they were so loose, this made sense to me. Okay, thanks so much for calling past today. I hope I've just done all that in focus. I tend to forget and go too far back on my board. Oh, there we go. Yeah, thanks so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye now.